Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday evening, our Scaffold sessions. We're going to finish off our 4-week cycle training. As we know, Nearlife have given us an amazing tool, which is a 4-week cycle of what we should be doing to keep us on track to build our business. So we've done the first couple of weeks, and we're now at week 4. So let me share my screen and let's just recap quickly. Let me enlarge that one over there. I think hopefully everybody can see me. Let's get rid of all the stuff that we shouldn't have over there. All right. So this is the 4-week activity cycle. And week 1 is the sprint week. Now, for those who are at Impact Summit or convention, you would have received an amazing little diary, which has got this activity cycle very nicely put out in there. If you didn't make Impact Summit, you still have a chance to get the diary. All you have to do is sign up somebody this month. You've got a few days with 100 PV or more, and you will receive a diary. So there's some incentive for you. So week 1 is sprint week, and I'm just going to go through it very quickly. There we go, we are going through, where you're going to follow up with, so you're going to set your target for the month. This month I will qualify as director, senior manager, executive manager, whatever, with X amount of PV, and I will personally sponsor 1, 2, 6, 10 new distributors, and I'm running to qualify for the following incentives, be it your consistency, be it your whatever, your 3 and 30, whatever incentive you're aiming for. So you set that up in week 1, and that's your sprint week. Week 2 is your run week. So you're going to do a check and you say, have I done my 100 personal PV? Because we all know that is what our target is. And my PV currently is X amount. And you can link that to your target amount for the month to see where you are. And I've personally sponsored 0, 1, 10, however many new distributors already this month in week 2. Then we zoot through to week 3, and that's our pace week. And you need to check and see, have I done my 100 personal PV? Yes or no? My current PV this week is hopefully more than what it was last week. And I've personally sponsored however many more new distributors this week. Week 4 is our blitz week. This is the one we're going to focus on this week. And this is an all-out blitz towards the close of the month, because as we know, month end is rapidly approaching. I'm not too sure exactly which date it is. Debbie can probably confirm, but it'll be around about the 30th or the 1st. You really need to do maximum activity to close as much business and volume as you can before the month ends. Sounds simple, but we need to focus on that. So follow up on your customers. Check out your team. See who's close to qualifying. Remember, we work for our team. So we need to check and see, has our potential manager, they're sitting at 240 PV. Do they know that? Maybe they knew. Do they know that they need to put in just 10 more PV, 1 bottle of Super 10, to be able to get a check? If they're already qualified as a manager, that 250 PV is the difference between a bonus or a no bonus. If they're sitting at 460 PV and they've been a distributor and they're sitting at 460 PV, let them know they've got 40 PV to go to become a qualified manager. Watch those points, encourage them, help them, ask them, what can I do to help you to get to your qualification? Same goes with senior manager, qualified senior manager, executive manager. Watch what they're doing. Even more so if they're a director and they're sitting at 3,000 900 PV, or 3,000 worse, 950 PV. Ask them what you can do to help them get that extra 50 PV to get their qualification. It's worth it. You've got a week. Follow up. So your key activities are to follow up with your prospects from the month to see if you can help them get started. Have you had anybody who said, yes, but not yet? Yes, but I'm waiting for payday. Well, when is payday? Was it the 15th of the month? Is it the 25th of the month? Or do they have to wait until the last day of the month? Check and see when their payday is. Encourage them. Get them on track. Ask them if they can put down a deposit. Place the order already. Work with them. Help them to get customers. Do whatever you can to help them get started. Continue to work your name list by inviting, making appointments, and talking to new prospects. This will ensure you have plenty of work to do in the new month. And as I've been learning through podcasts this past week, your job isn't to sign people up. Your job isn't to push products down their throat. Your job isn't to heal anybody. Your job, and I'm talking to me, our job, my job, is to simply do the invite. Are they open to look at a way to earn some extra money? Yes or no? I'm working on something exciting. It may or it may not be for you. Would you be open to having a look? If not, no big deal. They haven't lost anything. You haven't lost anything. In fact, you've saved time, because if it's not for them, they're going to tell you, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Great, thanks very much. Do you know anybody who might be interested? You're not dealing with a stranger, you're dealing with a friend. They're not ready yet. It's not their time. Don't worry about it. Would you like a glass of water? No, thank you. Not right now. I'm not thirsty. Would you be open to having a look? No, thank you. Not right now. I've got enough money. I've got enough stress. I don't want any more stress right now. I like the stress that I've got. I don't want to learn how to get out of it. Their choice. You just need to offer them that something to look at. If they don't want to look at it, no big deal. Don't stress about it. Intense activity, focus, and commitment to make sure you hit your targets. So if you said your target was making 250 PV this month and you are sitting at 200 PV, what are you going to do to get that extra 50 PV? It's your target, it's your goal, it's your choice. You're not working for Neolife, you're not working for me, you're not working for Don and Debbie. It's your business. How big is your dream? How big is your goal? How worth it? How intense is that goal or dream? So is making your PV target worth it for you or not? Your sponsoring target. Did you really want to sign up 5 people this month? Or was that just a number that you decided to put down to keep your upline happy? What is your target? What is your goal? Your dream, not anybody else's. Did you really want that extra 1,000 Rand a month, or the extra 1,000 Rand this month for being qualified consistently? Did you want that extra 150 Rand that Charlie, well, I think it's 300 Rand. Did you really want that extra 300 Rand that Charlie's going to give you because you've hit your 3 in 30? Or whatever Neolife's going to give you because you hit your 3 in 30? Is it worth it for you? And with your leaders, what are the key activities for your leaders? Remember, not every distributor or promoter is a leader. You've got to find your key leaders. Out of every, well, it's the 80-20 rule. Out of 80% of people that you've got, 20% are going to be your leaders. They are the ones going to be doing anything. Work with your back office reports. Check on your leaders. You know who your leaders are. Communicate with your team and encourage them to achieve Who's close to achieving their 3 in 30? Who's close to qualifying in title? Or better yet, stepping up? Are they qualified senior manager at 1,900 PV? Do they really want to get to that 2,000 executive manager pin? Is it worth their while? How strong is their goal? How strong is their desire? Do you want to, how close are they to earning their fast start bonus? This is month 4, and your new person started off and they just flew. They did their 250 PV in first month. They did their 600 PV in the second month. They did their 2,500 in the third month. They're going to step up to director. How big is their dream? How big is their goal? Are they really willing to do it? How can you help that person find their next people? How are they going to get their top up? Do they need more presentations? Do they need help in answering funny questions? Work with them. All of that information is in your back office. Our back office is not even a diamond mine. It's a platinum mine. It's 1,000,000 times more valuable than anything. Use it. It costs you 160 Rand a year for that back office. There are many, many, many businesses that pay a small fortune every month for what we get essentially for free. Who needs to get their 100 PV? Do you have somebody who's they're brand new, they started earlier this month, and you've told them they need to get 100 PV? Or maybe, like I've got in my team, there's somebody who their downline is pushing. They've hit their 250 PV, and this person is sitting at 90 PV. Get it through to them. Let them know that for the cost of a bottle of Super 10, they could get a bonus check, because they haven't got their personal 100 PV. So maybe they've got an executive manager, and this person is now going to qualify for a bonus, but they're sitting at 80 PV or 90 PV. Let them know, especially if they knew that they need their 100 PV to get a check. It's November. Christmas is coming. Maybe things are tight this year, and they need that extra 300 Rand to be able to buy that small box of chocolates for their child, or whatever it is. Maybe they need that gift of the incentive, or of the knowledge that they qualified, they made it. It wasn't easy, but they overcame that step. They stepped out of their comfort zone, and they changed not just their life, but the life of a couple of other people. And my current self-talk is, the more successful I am, the more people I'm helping. So how many people are you helping? Is it just you? Maybe I got a little bit too carried away with it, but this is your 4-week cycle. It's simple. Not always easy, but it's simple. What I've found very nice with this cycle is that it's taken a lot of what I have to do, because if you look at the bigger picture, it can be quite overwhelming. I've got to do 100 PV this month, and I said I was going to do 400 or 500 PV, and I haven't done this in the first week, and who do I talk? I get lost. I get confused. So this has been helping to clarify things for me, make it a little bit easier and simpler, and just I'm not very organized. For anybody who knows me, I work with organized chaos. So for me to be able to plan, yes, I can plan ahead for Bloemfontein. I can plan ahead for the 13th of January. I can plan ahead for October 19th next year. That's already in my diary. It's planned, it's done, it's sorted. What am I doing tomorrow? I haven't got that far. What am I doing this week? I haven't planned that yet. But this helps me to clarify what I need to do. And what I've done, it will start now in December. I know it should have started already, but life happened. What I've done is I've printed out these 4 sheets and I've put them on a display board and I've laminated it. Simple clear tape that you use for covering books. And it's on my bedroom wall. So I can now this week as well, I'll be planning out my December. According to this, what I need to do, when do I need to do it, who am I focusing on, and when and why, and how am I focusing on them? And I think it's going to be a little bit easier. Yes, from January, we'll have the diary, but start working now. December is your training period. November should have been your training period as well, because we were given this in October. In fact, we were given this earlier, but November should have been the start of your training. December is the continuation of your training. January, your diary is there. Get your goals, get your dreams, get everything. It's a new year. Are we going to make more in 24? What's your logo? What's your saying for next year? It's 2024. Why are we still sitting where we're sitting? We saw what was happening at Impact Summit. People are tired, but people are also looking. They're looking to change. They're looking to make money. They're looking for energy. They're looking for alternatives. The marketplace has changed. Gone are the days where you had a good education, got a degree, got a good job, worked for them for 30 years, got a gold watch, had a pension that you could live on comfortably for the next 40 years. Gone are those days. We were talking at a staff interviewer function yesterday, and somebody was saying, what is the average time that an employee spends with a company? I'm going to stop my sharing over here, just open up. Do you know what the average time is that somebody spends in a job these days? Nancy, you muted.
I would say a lifetime.
Average time is 4.5 years. Average time spent with a company is 4.5 years. And especially young people, they come in, they go to whatever level, and they go look for another job. And when they've had enough there, they go to another job, and they go to another job. They don't spend time with the company anymore. Maybe they get retrenched. Maybe they get fired.
Why would that be, Sean?
It's just the way the market works at the moment. It's said before, gone are those days where you're spending 30 years or more with a company and getting a fat pension. Doesn't happen, unless maybe you're in the government. But it just doesn't happen. So the other thing that
think
I've
the people
seen,
is too fussy?
There's a lot of different factors, and everybody has their own reason. But the other thing that I'm picking up with younger people, and it makes me sound very old, but I've got a couple of friends who they're in their 20s. And this young girl was completely burnt out. She was 25, I think, at the time. She was finished. She was completely burnt out. She had a whole big issue. And she and her partner decided that they are going to be nomads. They are now traveling the country. They've got a caravan. They've spent 80 odd days in the Kruger Park. They've got an Instagram page. They've got a Facebook page. And they're also doing a couple of other things. They're working remotely. And if you look on things like Instagram and LinkedIn, they're not the only ones. I'm seeing people all over the world, young people. We're talking 25, 35, who, as long as they get an internet connection, they want to be able to work. They want to be able to travel and work. If you are in a traditional job, you can't do that. This business allows them to do that. Once they see the concept of how it works, they will take it and run. Network marketing and MLM doesn't have the negative connotations that it used to have. Yes, there's still a lot of people who say, it doesn't work, it's a pyramid scheme and all the rest of that nonsense. Those are the ones that haven't done it. They're clueless. And if they do the business properly, they will see that it works. So we from the old school, and I hesitate to say that, but we are old school. I know I am. I'm talking to myself now. And it's not how it is anymore. So we've got to adapt and pivot and check and see who's our target market now. Who do we need to look at? Are we looking at pensioners? Are we looking at 25-year-olds? When you're at Bloemfontein, look at the teams from Namibia and Mozambique. What's the average age? Mandy, you muted?
21 to 30.
Exactly. Those are the people we need to be looking at and training them on how to use social media to do the business, because we're no longer restricted to our radius. We don't have to do like Charlie used to do and travel to Durban for a weekend and do 10 presentations and travel back to the Eastern Cape again. We can do 10 presentations in an hour. And we can do a presentation in Joburg, we can do a presentation in Pretoria, we can do a presentation in Mozambique, we can do a presentation in the States. All of them done in an hour, because we've got
But you know,
technology.
Sean, absolutely. But I'm just thinking now, if you think of the old school that don't know about new life, go and have an education after school, study and get a job. So we've got a hell of a job to do, but we must not just say it, we must prove it.
Correct.
Because the secret is in the taste of the pudding, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't do it, then we won't have the guts to prove it.
And also, we're not selling products. What are we selling?
No.
We're selling a dream.
No.
We're selling time, freedom. That's what I'm looking for. This running around in the middle of the night, fixing people, that joke is starting to wear a little bit thin now. We're looking for time, freedom. It's coming up to December. I'd like to go and spend time with my kids on holiday. I can't remember the last time that we actually had a holiday more than 3 days, 4 days. The last family holiday we had was last year, January, when my in-laws spoilt us and took us to Cape Town for a weekend. That was the holiday. I don't want that anymore. And if you remember when Janet was talking in one of her early talks, and she said on graduation day, she looked around at all her excited friends, and they all said, "Yay, we've graduated, we've got a degree. Now what?" How many of those people are going to get jobs? The matrics are finishing writing up their exams now. There are how many thousand matrics?
A lot.
How many of them are going to be able to afford to go to university? Number one. And then, how many of them are going to get what they term a good paying job with a company car and a pension and an allowance and all the luxuries that they think they're going to get? They're in for a bit of a rude shock.
Companies aren't giving pensions anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, because they're not lasting that long. So and I know that for a fact that companies don't give pensions anymore. They give provident fund. And what normally people do with their provident fund, when they get it, they spend it. They pay for all their credit cards and their bonds and everything else, and then they've got nothing.
Correct. And then they start all over again. So we need to sell time freedom. We need to sell a residual income. Whether you go into work today, whether you're traveling or not, you want to be able to earn an income. So that is what we're selling. We're not selling our company. We're not selling a product. We're selling a dream and time freedom. And that's where we need to pivot and focus. Just my opinion. So now I'm going to stop recording.